Marathon Time didn't just die, it was murdered. It barely even started before it ended. Some just say it was a failed pilot and there was nothing else to it. We could just forget about it and pretend it never happened. Well, that's for the quitters. I like to think it's an example of courage. Despite doing everything wrong that anyone could do in a video, he still made what could be considered a real passion project with absolute confidence. That takes the real courage, and we can't just ignore that. I want to give back and show my own courage in return, and find out what really went wrong.
I'm just surprised that they never decided to do anything more with this Scooby-Doo idea. I mean, 2 seasons doesn't seem like very much.
What we see on the surface isn't always entirely what we get, and it's difficult to quite pinpoint how you can see through the cracks. Cracks that are always there. When the odds are against you, nothing is going right, the timing just doesn't seem to fit. It's not easy to face those fears and try to overcome them for the sake of the audience. So after the initial release of Marathon Time, how can you look at it and say anything but, this surely cannot be topped? As creators, we are our own worst critics. And sometimes you simply realise there is a point of no return. Even when you know you've created a monster. But how do you know when to stop? This is where we're going to take a look behind the scenes. I'm going to show you some shocking footage none of us ever expected to see, that just shows the downhill spiral that the troubled creator went through in trying to recover his fame.
Borat and the KKK. KKK Borat? Borat in the KKK. Borat in the KKK. White supremacist Borat.
Various attempts, various clips that just don't add up. Were these intended for future videos? Or were they just a showreel of the kind of madness he had fallen into? It's difficult to tell. Each clip more uncomfortable than the last. It was getting to a point where it was looking hopeless. Try and try and try again, but nothing ever came. When was he going to reach a breaking point? He even tried other projects, possibly trying to live up to the hype he has created for himself, but it was all for nothing. The rumours were true. He simply hated what he'd become. He hated the content he was making.
But we're only 10 minutes in. So what are the characters like? Did they live up to the ones in the show? Rest in peace, Mr. Keisha. No, I can't do it. I hate this video, and I don't.
And right there, you can see the breaking point. It was over. He was done. He'd become a monster and he couldn't handle it. Not that I can say I blame him. I mean, it's truly difficult to deal with, knowing your beloved content you worked so hard on really isn't as good as you once thought. Marathon Time was short-lived, but it won't be forgotten. It may not be coming back. It may be long gone. But to me, I'll never forget what an inspiration this one pilot for a series that never made it anywhere was. An inspiration to do literally the exact opposite that anyone should ever do when they make a video. In my heart, it's always Marathon Time. Beautiful, well done, nice job.